a three-pronged fight in the state of Gujarat between the BJP, which is the ruling party in that state, along with the Congress as well as the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me go across now to Mohit Bhatt as well as Aishwarya, who are joining us on the broadcast immediately after the dates for the elections have been announced. First, coming to you, Mohit. This is a fairly challenging time for the state of Gujarat, especially in the aftermath of what's happened in Morbi. Now, that part of Gujarat has been a strong, the people there have been strong supporters of the BJP for a very long period of time, especially the Patidars. What are the likely implications of the Morbi tragedy, the way that the election campaign now goes forward?
Well, Siddharth, the Election Commission started off their press conference with condolences to the Morbi victims, and this clearly shows that the scale of the Morbi tragedy. But you see, the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister of Gujarat, they have been continuously monitoring the situation, and there has been demand from all corners that a strict action should be taken against the company who was given the contract.
Right, Mohit, let me just interrupt you. Let me go immediately to Aishwarya as well. Of course, he's been tracking all the developments on the ground in Gujarat. Aishwarya, you have a lot of people around you as well. What are their reactions following the announcement made by the Election Commission right now about the dates? What's the mood on the ground right now?
Well, definitely these are the electors who will decide that who will be forming the government in Gujarat. I have been joined by several of the people here in Gandhinagar and will directly ask that the incident that happened in Morbi, will that also affect the Gujarat elections or not? आपसे मैं जानना चाहूँगा, एक तो क्या मुद्दे रहेंगे इस बार गुजरात में? आपको लगता है मोरबी में जिस तरह की घटना हुई, 145 से ज्यादा लोग मारे गए, क्या इसका असर गुजरात चुनावों पर भी पड़ेगा?
गुजरात चुनाव पर तो पड़ेगा कि या नहीं पड़ेगा, लेकिन जो सांत्वना जो होनी चाहिए वो हो नहीं रही है। जिस तरह से मोदी साहब ने जो पश्चिम बंगाल में उसको इलेक्शन का मुद्दा बनाया था और यहाँ पर सांत्वना दी है, तो दोनों में अलग अलग तरीके से मोदी साहब ने उनकी राय दिखाई है। और जो मोरबी वाली जो घटना हुई है वो बहुत दुखद है, और जिन्होंने जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लिया है उनको सजा मिलनी चाहिए। और जो पैसे वाले हैं और 2 करोड़ की जो बात कर रहे हैं वो रीटेंडरिंग है, वो सब तो वो इतने पैसे वाले हैं तो वो ही, उनको टेंडर की जरूरत ही नहीं है।
आपको लग रहा है कवर अप की कोशिश की जा रही है और इसका असर जनता चुनावों पर देगी?
हाँ, देगी, जरूर देगी।
आपको क्या लगता है, क्योंकि लगातार कंपनी पर भी सवाल उठ रहे हैं, म्युनिसिपैलिटी पर भी सवाल उठ रहे हैं, अब गुजरात के चुनाव ऑफिशियली डिक्लेयर हो गए हैं, 8 दिसंबर को एक नई सरकार जो भी जीतेगी वो बनेगी। मोरबी में एक बहुत बड़ी घटना हुई हाल ही में, क्या लगता है उसका असर पड़ेगा? आप पर पड़ेगा?
आप नहीं, पूरे गुजरात पे पड़ेगा। वो जो भी मरे बेचारे 142 लोग, वो लोग बेचारे कोई गुनहगार तो थे नहीं, निर्दोष ही मर गए अंदर, उनका कोई गुनाह ही नहीं है, बेचारे उनकी जान गई है। उसका असर 100% पड़ेगा, और सबसे ज्यादा तो मोरबी में ही पड़ेगा। देख लेना आपके देखना हो तो, क्योंकि मोरबी की जनता ये भी बहुत जागरूक जनता है। गुजरात हमेशा क्या है, हर चीज के अंदर कोई भी चीज का उसका रिएक्शन तो देता ही है।
Let's ask more people over here who have been on and the electors who will certainly change the government. सर, आपको क्या लगता है, आप यहाँ पर अब चुनाव है, अब ऑफिशियली डिक्लेयर हो गए हैं, मोरबी में एक घटना हुई, बहुत सारे लोग उसमें मारे गए, क्या उसका असर भी चुनावों पर पड़ने वाला है?
हर एक बात की जिम्मेदारी हम मोदी साहब को सीधा नहीं दे सकते, ये झूठी बातें हैं। देखो, और आएगा तो बीजेपी ही। गुजरात में बीजेपी के अलावा कोई आ ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि गुजरात जितना विकास आप पूरे इंडिया में घूम के देख लो, कहीं पे नहीं है।
So the double engine Sarkar, according to few, will retain...
Some very interesting reactions that you brought us there. Opinion clearly divided on the streets of Gandhinagar where you are. But let me in fact go across to my colleague Priyank, who's joining us from Morbi. Madhavdas Gopalakrishnan also joins us from Delhi. But first, Priyank, coming to you. You are in Morbi. You've been tracking the aftermath of that horrible tragedy that took place a few days ago. What's the mood on the ground in Morbi? There was a lot of anger. But now when it comes to the announcement of the dates, what's the opinion like on the streets of Morbi about which way these elections are likely to swing?
See, Siddharth, Sadly, most of these people are unaware that the election dates have been announced. So I'm standing on the middle of the streets and I'll try to randomly pick up people so that the honest response from their side can come up. चाचा, इलेक्शन के डेट अनाउंस हो गए हैं. इलेक्शन के डेट अनाउंस हो गए हैं. क्या लगता है इस हादसे का असर पड़ेगा इलेक्शन पे?
इलेक्शन का असर तो पड़ेगा ही, लेकिन ये हुआ ये बहुत अच्छा नहीं हुआ है. इसमें बच्चे लोग ज्यादा मर गए हैं और ये उसकी असर.
किसको जिम्मेदार ठहराएंगे अगर वोट डालने जाएंगे?
इसको जिम्मेदार तो ऐसी बात है कि उसकी कैपेसिटी ना है वो 100 आदमी की है और उसमें आदमी हो गए हैं 400.
मेरा कहना है इलेक्शन वोट डालने जाएंगे तो असर पड़ेगा, दिमाग में चीजें रहेंगी.
हाँ, ऐसा तो असर तो पड़ेगा ही.
Certainly, Siddharth. Now that was someone there. The city has started moving gradually. Life moves on. They know that it was a biggest disaster which they have witnessed in their life. Let's move towards the shop. These are the shops right outside the municipal corporation office here in Morbi, and I would attempt to talk to a few of the shopkeepers who have been waiting here. आपको इस बात की जानकारी है कि इलेक्शन की डेट अनाउंस हो गए हैं? अभी टीवी तो आप देख रहे हैं.
नहीं, वो नहीं पता है.
अच्छा, चलिए मैं आपको बता दूं, इलेक्शन के डेट अनाउंस हो गए हैं 1 तारीख और 5 तारीख. मोरबी सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा निकल के इस इलेक्शन में आने वाला है. आप यहाँ के रहने वाले बाशिंदे हैं, क्या दिमाग में रहेगा जब वोट डालने जाएंगे तो?
वो तो समय आने पर पता चलेगा सबको. वो तो सही है, वो जो कि होता है ये इलेक्शन पार्टी अपने फायदे के लिए वो करता है ना काम. वो तो सही बात हो, पहली बात तो होती है, लेकिन वो सरकार जो भी करेगी उसको वोट मिलेगा.
जिससे पहले अच्छा काम किया उसको देंगे या नई चीजें?
ना, काम तो ये भी अच्छी काम करता है, लेकिन अभी थोड़ा जो मुसीबत तकलीफ हुई है सबको उसका ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा ना उसको. अभी दूसरी तकलीफ न होना चाहिए वो सबको.
जख्म हरे हैं. शॉर्टी नीड टू बिगिन. सर, आप लोग वोटर हैं, कई दफा वोट करके आए होंगे. इस बार आम लोगों में चर्चा क्या विषय है? क्योंकि लोग इंतजार तो कर रहे थे कि इलेक्शन आने ही वाले हैं. कितना ज्यादा दिमाग में ये चीजें हावी रहेंगी? लेकिन आप काम को वर्क देंगे या एक बड़े डिजास्टर को?
काम जो करेगा उसको ही देगा ना वोट. तो जो भी सरकार होगी काम करेगा उसको वोट देगा. अभी तो बहुत तकलीफ है, ये बहुत हो गया है हादसा, औजार अकस्मात हो गया, बहुत आदमी चले गए, इसीलिए तकलीफ तो पड़ेगी ना सबको.
तकलीफ पड़ेगी. Let's talk to this young man. Okay, he is not, willing. We are moving towards these stalls because Morbi is a small town, Siddharth and Madhav. And these are the small ready patries which are stationed here. These are the young people. आप में से वोट कौन दे सकता है इस बार? इस बार किसकी वोट एलिजिबल है?
भाजप.
आप वोट देंगे इस बार? पहली बार? पहली बार वोट देंगे?
नहीं, दूसरी बार.
ये दूसरी बार देंगे. किसको देंगे? क्या रहेगा दिमाग में पहले? आप लोग युवा हैं, रोजगार चाह रहे होंगे, क्या चीज है दिमाग में? रोजगार दिमाग में है, बट दिस यंग मैन हैज ऑलरेडी डिसाइडेड हिज where he has to cast the vote. So obviously this is the general situation. We are standing on the middle of the street. Random
Priyank, let me just interrupt you there because we're being joined right now by Jay Mrug as well. I'll come back to Jay in just a short while, but before that, Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan is also joining us. Madhav, some very interesting comments made by the Election Commission in that press conference, including a jibe at those who question the impartiality of the Election Commission, where the Election Commission has said that it's habitual on the part of sore losers to be questioning the umpire. How do you read that specific comment coming from the EC in that press conference?
Well, you rightly put it there, Siddharth. That's exactly what Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar said at the press conference right behind me, on the dais right behind me just a few moments ago, where he said that it's just a cricket match where the losing team goes and complains about the umpire. He has said that in several times he's given the instance, for instance, of the EVMs, where political parties during the polling process have complained about the electronic voting machines, but then it turns out that that very political party has won in that particular region where the EVMs and their impartiality or their efficacy was questioned. And therefore he has said that this is something that Election Commission takes in its stride. This is something that Election Commission has a legacy of, and it's a legacy that globally election election management bodies, look up to India for. Whenever India has to take up a leadership role, it is readily accepted because India's role and India's pioneering role, particularly as far as EVMs and ensuring that the election process is held in a free and fair manner, is something that is looked up to globally. So globally also referring to the fact that fake narratives are very much, on the rise, that the globally, democracy backsliding, for instance, is a narrative that many choose to build on. But the larger question is to fight all fake narratives and ensure there are any questions or queries that are raised, that they are addressed.
And one more very quick question to you, Madhav. How do you read what the election commissioner also said about the possibility of any implication of the SIT constituted to look into the Morbi tragedy having an impact on the elections? Is that likely? Are the elections there likely to be put on hold in the event there's some kind of an observation coming in from the SIT? How do you read that specific comment, and what are we to make out of it?
Well, the Chief Election Commissioner began the press conference expressing condolences of Morbi, and two very important points he made vis-a-vis Morbi. To a pointed question of whether the Prime Minister's visit had caused a delay in the election schedule, he said that there was a tragedy, there was a day of mourning that was announced yesterday, and all of these do have an impact as far as the election schedule announcement is concerned. So to link it directly to the Prime Minister's visit perhaps would not be appropriate, is what the version of the Election Commission was. He also went ahead to a pointed question and responded that whether the SIT that has been constituted and its findings will in any way be impacted now that the schedule has been announced by the Model Code of Conduct, to which the Chief Election Commissioner has specified that the Model Code of Conduct specifically applies to certain aspects of government policy. So ongoing investigations, etc., that are already in place, what he was trying to refer to is something that would not in fact be impacted in that sense. Of course, remains to be seen as to what really will be the demand as far as opposition parties. It is political season. They are trying to get the government on the mat. What are the opposition parties going to say from here on as far as the investigation and the fixing of accountability as far as the Gujarat administration is concerned? That's something that we'll have to watch out for.
Right, let me take this across to Jay Mruk as well. Good afternoon to you, Jay. You know the state of Gujarat very closely. You've monitored several elections that have taken place in that state.